With each passing day, I become more and more confident. Not confident in a new update, no, I become more sure of something different, but something that could ultimately be maybe even sweeter. Every day the Switch continues to have profound success, like Nintendo's best success ever. In many ways, the Switch is the culmination of everything great Nintendo has ever done, and Animal Crossing New Horizons is a big part of that. Also, every day that passes and we hear nothing about AC. No update, no DLC, no villagers, not even a second anniversary cake. The more that these two things happen, I view them as parallel, because I think they're both leading us to the same point, which is another Animal Crossing game on the Switch. I really feel like Nintendo might be cooking another one to try and create something similar to the magic that they had back in 2020. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hit that like button if you still like Animal Crossing. I've been so sad that there's nothing to talk about lately. There's just nothing new at all, ever. But let me know in the comments down below what you think of this, because a new game would revitalize, a new game would recycle, a new game could be the better one. That's something to think about, and that's why I asked a bunch of people what you want out of this next game. Will Nintendo go the route of Animal Crossing New Horizons 2? Or will they go the route of Animal Crossing something new? And based on what you guys say, it's kind of split. Because I see a lot of people that really want a better version of New Horizons. And then I also see a bunch of people, and I think I fall more in this camp, who want something kind of curveballed off in a different direction. So let's kick it off with David M, who wants online minigames or something to do with multiplayer. I think this is one of the most requested, biggest ones out there. And honestly, it's enough to form an entire game. It is totally plausible that Nintendo could make an Animal Crossing multiplayer game with not many design elements, or with a few, and that's it. A multiplayer-centric Animal Crossing, because they barely put multiplayer in Animal Crossing New Horizons. In fact, it's kind of sad and shameful how little they focused on multiplayer when the game began as the first Animal Crossing where you could really visit around and fly and travel, and they never really grabbed hold. They didn't do anything with that at all. There was no mini games, there was no major multiplayer components in 2.0. It just kind of sat there and withered. So I think this is mission critical, whether it's a spin-off or whether it's incorporated into the next main game. Now, Vanessa has a good one. She says, I would like to see more species and varieties of collectibles. And I think this is absolutely paramount no matter what they do. We need many more villager species, not just new villagers, new villager species. I think it is time to reinvent the wheel in a way with the cast of Animal Crossing. I'm not saying ditch Timmy and Tommy, or Abel and Label, or Isabelle or Tom Nook himself, but I think many of the surrounding characters can be freshened up, or at least expanded. I think we can bring in a bunch of new villagers so that this doesn't feel like, oh, they're just piling on, but maybe we just like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna say it, the alligators are kind of awful looking in this game, so let's ditch them and put in iguanas and a whole new species. It doesn't necessarily have to be 900 villagers, although that would be cool, but new ones. Think of it like Pokemon. You can't just keep catching Chansey and Pikachu and Weedle over and over again. Oh wait, you can, and Pokemon struggles with this as well, but Animal Crossing, you could do better. Also, in terms of building out that Critterpedia, I think the Critterpedia is something that should see frequent and reliable updates. It got no updates. I guess diving in deep sea was an update, but from there they were like, that's it. And I think expanding the flora and fauna of Animal Crossing would be very fun, and it would allow for more collectibles, an ever-expanding list of collectibles, and you would feel like it was a living, breathing world where new things were being discovered. Imagine if all of a sudden they uncovered like a anthill and it was full of red biting ants, and that's different than the black ants we have. Or imagine if there was a new hive on the tree and you're like, oh my gosh, what's inside? Or a new bird had burrowed into the leaves. Like, they could do so many cool, more dynamic, real-timey type things. Queenie Crossing has a very nifty idea, and one that pushes the envelope. Her idea is to have player-created events. We all live for the holidays, right? We're all waiting for the next bunny day, or whenever we're gonna see Jingles next, and we wanna know what's happening on Halloween. But what if, as a player, you could pick time, date, and type of event for your island and do more than say, come over for my thrown together scavenger hunt? Now, no shade there, because those events were incredible and people made some wonderful things. Crunchy Island comes to mind, all sorts of different games. But what if Nintendo kind of put their backing behind it and allowed you to say, hey, I have this bakery over here and we're gonna have a bake-off or a reveal of a new type of bread, and everyone can come over and there'll be a little celebration. You can drink little drinks and you can enjoy, and it's going to be a themed event to my island or my space, and I get to set it. So I can have a regular show on my island every Friday at 6 p.m. Or I can have a regular meet and greet at the coffee house every Sunday morning. Wouldn't it be nifty if you could kind of become the hub for some of your friends, or build out this entire alternate world where you're kind of living the life of your villager, him or herself? Pixel gets a bit more granular and wants more camera movement. Now this is going to be an interesting decision for Nintendo to make. Animal Crossing, it's looking like this as of late, right? Look at New Leaf, look at New Horizons. It operates on kind of this rounded area. Do they keep that or do they move it? 360-degree camera control would completely erupt, shake, and break the entire system of design as we have it. But it would be a serious evolution for the game. Imagine if we could see behind those pesky trees and we could turn the camera and know what the backside of our island actually looks like. It would be monumental for how much you could design, how much you needed to design, but it would take away something. It wouldn't be as limited, and limitations can be good because they do create creative solutions. And without that, you would kind of see everything not for maybe the mirage or the magic that was created, but instead for, oh, if you rotate it, it's just a bunch of boxes stood on top of each other. It no longer looks like the robot it did from the front. So I'm of two minds about this. I don't know. I don't know if a free camera is better, but I definitely think they need to expand the space and at least make it feel like a much more fleshed out world than just a rounded little island where the items still pop in. They need to find a better way to develop this so it can handle much more. Now the theme of the game is also very interesting, and Raichi B wants us to be able to design our own themes, kind of have multiple themes and no one set theme. New Horizons is all about the island life, but what if the next Animal Crossing let you pick the theme or let you have multiple themes? Space, underwater, in the clouds. Imagine if instead of the space being an island or a city or a ship, it was like you pick the space. Or you just have so many more tools that you can kind of mold the space, terraform this space into anything you want. It doesn't have to obey the rules of water and cliffs. You can create anything you want. I think it would be better if AC did pick a theme. I think that just gives the game something to rally around, a style, a sensibility, and just kind of a branding, if you will, for everything to center around. So I do obviously like different sets, different furnitures, different types of items, but I'd prefer that they pick a theme rather than kind of just have it be all themes. But Animal Crossing could be at the point where they just want to give you the tools. Although some people would rather them take more control, offer more quests, more story, make this game have more of a campaign, and I'm one of those people. I think it would be really nifty if there was more to do. Like Fallen Red Egg says they expected them to upgrade to 6 stars at one point, or go beyond that, offering more rewards and more achievements. This would be very nice if there were more levels, more gradation so that you could expand and improve. And once you hit 5 stars, you weren't just like, well, what now? There's a lot of just like recycling happening, right, in ACNH. Like nothing bad, but we kind of just redo and we redo. And what if there was an opportunity to expand further? What if it was going to take you literal years to reach the ultimate island or city or whatever the theme would be? Space station, perhaps. That would be kind of cool. Bigger, loftier, longer term goals is something I think they absolutely need to add to enhance this game. Next up, we have an idea that I have seen circulating more than I thought it would. And this comes from Big D3, who says, I want a New Leaf port instead of a new update. I've seen a bunch of people say they'd love to see New Leaf ported to Switch. And I'm telling you, that is a dangerous road. I know there's a lot of nostalgia and love for the older Animal Crossings, but Animal Crossing is already a game that plays with fire. It plays with the fine line of all of this is old, and then we slowly incorporate it to say that it's new. Remember how long it took us to get some basic features from New Leaf in New Horizons? And now you want them to go backwards even more? And I know there's some things that are preferred in New Leaf over New Horizons, but I really don't think with the Animal Crossing style, a port is where we want to see them put their talent and their time. I really think this series needs to move forward, and I think many people would get bored quickly without the upgrades that New Horizons has made you so comfortable and accustomed to. New Leaf really is missing some major notes from New Horizons, and I don't think it would do anywhere near as well as people might think it would. So many New Leaf players graduated New Horizons, and you want Nintendo just to sell them the same thing? Most of this discussion is about bringing new to the game. They're not doing new updates, so maybe something new entirely. And nothing wrong with liking the past Big D3 or anyone else who's for this idea, and maybe Nintendo could do both, but I believe Nintendo can't do both. The pace at which they put out Animal Crossing is plodding at best, and so I'd really love to see them utilize that slot for something brand new rather than say, we can wait 5 more years for new because we'll tide them over with something we already sold them. This is only the beginning. All right, these are the first ideas we have for the next Animal Crossing and my first take on said ideas. There is more, and I'd love you to fill my mind with even more. Is there something awesome you wish they would do? Or a train of thought, a style choice, an idea you'd like to see Nintendo pursue for the next Animal Crossing that I feel more and more will be on Switch? Please let me know in the comments down below. Hit that like button if it gets you excited to think about a world where we could start over again. But not by starting over, but by starting anew. Opening up a brand new Animal Crossing, cracking that case, popping the cartridge in, and playing for hundreds and hundreds of hours, except it's brand new. Let that sink in, soak it up. It's a beautiful thing, and I love you all. Such beautiful people there supporting the channel and watching these videos for years now. Thank you so very much. Hope you all have a wonderful, safe, awesome, happy, healthy, positive, productive day. And until next time, my lovely friends, thanks a lot. SwitchForce out.